We're ranking the 5 most infamous whiskey brands, from bottles notorious for sugar bombs and fake labels to those slammed for hype or poor value. Some are marketing disasters, others might be misunderstood legends. Which one truly deserves the hate, and which secretly delivers? Let's kick off the countdown with number 5. Southern Comfort wears a whiskey costume, but the label tells a different story. Spirit whiskey with natural flavors. That is a legal loophole letting up to 80% of the bottle be neutral grain spirit, think cheap vodka, while barely a splash of actual whiskey makes the cut. The rest is a syrupy mix of fruit and spice, heavy on peach, engineered to drown out any hint of real grain. With about 10 to 15 grams of sugar per serving, it is less about sipping and more about surviving the sweetness. There is no barrel character, no depth, just a sticky, artificial blast that has haunted college bars for decades. Southern Comfort lands at the bottom for a reason. It is the poster child for marketing over substance. Fireball does not even bother pretending to be whiskey. At 33% alcohol by volume, it is legally a liqueur, a fact hidden behind a wall of cinnamon heat and sugar. The real punch comes from engineered flavor, not aged spirit. In 2014, European regulators yanked Fireball off shelves after finding propylene glycol levels above the European Union limit, a chemical more famous for its role in antifreeze than in cocktails. The United States shrugged, citing Food and Drug Administration approval, but the damage was done. Fireball's viral shot culture exploded anyway, fueled by a formula that numbs your mouth and drowns out any trace of the cheap base spirit underneath. It is not whiskey. It is a cinnamon candy dare, built for the bar crowd that wants a sugar rush over substance. Proper number 12 exploded onto shelves in 2018, riding a tidal wave of Conor McGregor's swagger and marketing muscle. The first year saw over 50,000 cases fly out the door, not because of what was in the bottle, but because of whose name was on it. The whiskey itself is a young, rough blend, reportedly just 3 years old, sourced from Bushmills. At $40 to $50 a bottle, you would expect a bit of Irish magic, but what you get is a thin, metallic pour that tastes more like a rushed experiment than a finished product. There is none of the creamy vanilla or mellow grain you will find in Jameson or Tullamore Dew. Instead, you are paying a premium for the notorious brand and a green label. It is real whiskey, sure, but the price-to-quality gap is as wide as McGregor's bravado. That is how proper number 12 earns its spot among the infamous, proof that hype cannot bottle flavor. Hudson Baby Bourbon promised a craft revolution, but delivered a cautionary tale. Toot Hill Town Spirits gambled on 3-gallon barrels, betting that more wood contact would speed up aging and deliver full-flavored bourbon in a fraction of the time. The math did not lie. A small barrel exposes whiskey to far more oak, but the flavors that develop are not the ones bourbon lovers crave. Instead of rich caramel and vanilla, the result is a harsh mix of raw corn and over-extracted wood, what reviewers call corn funk and, less kindly, wet cardboard. For the privilege, drinkers pay over $50 for a half-size 375 milliliter bottle, which works out to more than $100 for a standard pour. Enthusiasts wanted to root for real craft whiskey, but Hudson's failed experiment turned excitement into backlash. It is not a marketing trick or a celebrity label, just a genuine misfire with a price tag to match. Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 sits on more back bars than any other American whiskey, and its reputation is as divisive as it is undeniable. Critics love to scoff, calling it tourist whiskey or the drink of people who don't know better. But that familiar black label hides a process no other major whiskey brand can claim. Every drop is filtered through 10 feet of sugar maple charcoal before ever touching a barrel, a step called the Lincoln County process, unique to Tennessee whiskey. That charcoal mellowing isn't a marketing gimmick. It strips out harsh grain notes and leaves behind a signature profile: ripe banana, maple syrup, vanilla, and a gentle, smoky sweetness. Those flavors show up in every bottle, whether it's poured in a Nashville honky-tonk or a Tokyo cocktail bar. Consistency is the real marvel here. Jack Daniel's pumps out millions of bottles a year, and yet the experience is nearly identical from batch to batch. The mash bill is 80% corn, 12% barley, and 8% rye, which delivers a balanced, approachable whiskey that doesn't try to be fancy. It just aims to be reliable. Blind tastings often place Old No. 7 neck and neck with bourbons costing twice as much. The price hovers around $20 to $25, making it one of the best values on any shelf. The hate isn't about what's in the glass. It's about what the bottle represents: mass appeal, easy drinking, and zero pretense. But that's not a flaw, that's the point. Jack Daniel's is proof that a whiskey can be everywhere and still be good. The snobs may never admit it, but Old No. 7 is the only infamous bottle on this list that deserves respect, not ridicule. Across all 5 bottles, one truth stands out. Infamy follows hype, sugar, and shortcuts, not quality. In whiskey, reputation is loud, but the real story is always in the glass. Cheers.